stuff. So a little bit different from what we may have seen in the past with regards to some of these training we see for assistant referees. So, but today we're very happy to have with us Abby. I could try to pronounce his last name, but I'm going to butcher it. Who's going to be here talking about referee positioning. Since, like I said, next call is going to be assistant referees. So he's going to be talking about this from a coaching perspective. So how do we coach this? How do we help teach referees in terms of both as an assessor and as a coach, how to take better positions? Abby has an extensive resume that I'm not even going to begin to try to list. You can Google him if you are that interested in it, but he's refereed the Final Four on the men's side back in 2001, MLS Referee of the Year, I'm pretty sure. He just got back from a UEFA course, training course, so he's got some of the most recent information in terms of some of the referee positioning and training stuff. So I will be here as kind of the second in command helping him out, but I'm just going to turn this right over to Abby. So Abby, go ahead.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Actually happy to be here as a member of the Nassau family since 92, I want to say. So I'm really happy, and I'm glad to see some of you guys and ladies interested in trying to learn our positioning in the modern game.
So just real quick, I'm going to interrupt Abby real quick, just because I know he wants this to be interactive. If you have questions, type them in the chat, raise your hand. We've got everyone on mute, but please ask questions because I'm sure he wants to hear them. Right, Abby?
Yes, I do. So positioning is about what I will teach is about what we expect in the modern game. We as coaches or assessors, as we call ourselves, the game is changing and it's changing so rapidly. So what I want to do, because we literally have an hour, and I was telling Amanda, the presentation I have, literally, when we do it to referees at a professional or any other higher level, this is like 2-3 hour session only by itself. So we are going to try to do the best we can within 30 minutes so that we actually can also get a chance to actually see some videos, because I don't just want to be talking. Please, as Samara just said, when I'm going through some of this discussion, okay, these clips, ask questions, okay, ask specific question, whatever. There's no question that is wrong, So that being said, we're going to go straight into what we are going to do, which is basically, I'm going to try to share my screen with everybody. And please let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen or no? If you cannot, please put in the chat line so Amanda or whoever can follow it up and recognize it. We ask ourselves, and I believe all of us know this, we ask, why positioning? A referee, regardless who you are, whatever level you are, the decision you make boils down to one thing. It is not about your movement. You can run all day you want. If you don't take the right position on the soccer field, you don't get to make the right decision. In that case, you might come up to be guessing. As we can see, based on the PowerPoint, 90% of errors that we make is based on our decision making. Basic practice. Why do we take wider angle on some decisions? Why do we go wide? Before, I remember some of us, I know my days when I used to referee, we used to be told, go wide. You need to go wide. You need to do this. Well, I can tell you the game is so fast now. You can't do that. So why do we tell them not to go wide anymore? And what alternative solutions do we give to them? Those are all part of decision making about position. So we are going to go through specific. We ask individual. When you are running on the field. Actually, I was talking to Amanda today. We're looking at some clips. Some of the things that I witnessed, I'm like, she goes, we have about 30 or 40 clips that is good. As Amanda, I say, a lot of these clips I'm looking at are just referees running. What do I say, Amanda? A chicken without a head. I think is that what you said? I says, they're running.
Yes, chicken without their head.
Chicken without their head. So it looks good running, but running without positioning is just a waste of, it's just a waste of energy, which they can be saved. So we have several things that we're going to talk about and look at. Okay. I'm not going to show this. So what are the things that we do that we ask you that should be the best practices that we as a coach want to teach? And I like to use the word coach. I don't like to use the word assessors, coach, mentors, because that's really what we are. Okay. Assessors, it's about pass or fail. But when we coach, when we mentor, we are trying to teach people how to get better in those things. So some people can look at this. Okay. Basic stuff. Active play, body position, angles, penalty area, which as any referee, you can make mistakes anywhere in the field. The one place you don't want to make it is the penalty area line. No. Why do we say continuum movement? Why do we say inside the penalty area? We are going to get understand a little bit what we talk about when we say breakdown. Free zone. And I'll give it, you find out what the free zone is. These are our positioning best practice, how we get to those places. Set pieces. No, we have so many set pieces, ceremonial, corner kick, or goal kick. But people have taken some weird positions. What is the recommended position for us to take that we have to tell the referee? And remember, when we tell them, we have to give them the reason why we ask them to be at those positions. Okay, not just saying this is where she should be. And please, as a coach, remember, no matter what you are giving opinion to the referee, listen to what they are telling you, because in some cases, they actually might be teaching you something about why they're doing something. But what you want to do is give them the option as to why this should be there. Okay? You know, I use the word favor considerations. This is what we talk about positioning. When you talk about position, you need to have a flexibility. What do we say about what do I mean by flexibility? Flexible to adjust on the fly as the game in a dynamic play, to be able to read the game, to understand what each team is playing, what their tactics are. Do the referee do a research on the team? And sometimes, in most cases, guess what? You actually have to visualize what's going to happen. Visualization helps you as a referee to read the game better. And please, we know this quite clearly. There is no two situations that are the same in any given scenario. Just because you go right and you get the decision right doesn't mean it's always right. Maybe the attention may have to go left. Sometimes you have to be central. So we have to do, and the referee must have the basic knowledge of everything else, the feel for the game. If you don't have the feel for the game as a referee, it doesn't matter what you are. I'm going to go back to that word. You're going to run like a chicken without a head, period. Okay? We're going to start to see some clips right now. And some of these clips, I'm going to say, the first one we're talking about body positioning. And you look at the word, everybody can see clearly. If you cannot see, please let me know. Why do we say we talk about body position, and why we ask referees to square their body shoulder towards the goal when they get to the final area where they're making decisions? And when I say final area, let me get something right quick. Draw. Okay, when we say final area, can everybody see my screen? So why do we say referee? Can everybody see that? Can you see my drawing? No. So that little arrow I just drew on the screen is telling referees basically where we want you to be to start squaring your shoulder, because we don't want to go too further in. Okay. Why is it that in that position you want to be here? Because when you're over here, you have the view to see everything. You can see this, you can see play here, you can see play here, as opposed to the referee, instead of being here, coming all the way here. That's what we don't want. So that would say when the play is in the final third, we want you to square your shoulder to the goal line. Any question on this one so far? Please, I want questions, because I can fly through this clip quickly. Because I want to be able to actually show you guys on this clip, and we're going to look at this. And without me I don't want to just be talking without interaction, because doing that it's not the same thing. Okay. And we're going to look at this clip I was just talking about. Body position again. I want to build. Amanda, you're going to do me a favor. Okay, Amanda, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, what I want to do is I'm going to ask you to just call out name. Okay, I'm going to ask a question. We'll look at it. A body position is your back to the play. Can anybody pick somebody that can say why we don't want the referees back to the play in the final third, most especially? Just pick anybody.
All right, so let's go with Jonathan Barber. How about you take yourself off mute and answer Abby's question?
Jonathan.
Jonathan?
Okay. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
All right. I would, we don't want the referees back to the play because he limits his view. And if the ball goes in the opposite direction, he can't see what's going on behind him. And so he makes himself kind of awkward. So he doesn't have a full view of where the ball is coming from and any challenges that may come toward him.
So what would be the solution if we have a referee that take that kind of position? What recommendation do we want to give? So we've identified referees that have done that. So now we need to give them a solution. What do we want to tell them? Somebody else. Amanda, pick any name.
Craig Hill.
Don't worry, there is no wrong answer, okay? Please, there is none. Don't feel like you give me the wrong answer, okay? It's all in education and we're all learning. And I'm still learning. Please. Go ahead. Pick the name.
Craig, are you there? Take yourself off mute. All right, may not be able to, but Darth, how about Darth Newman? And also, Abby's asking these questions. We can type some comments in the chat too as well if we'd like. So Darth Newman, how about you take yourself off mute and answer Abby's question? Give some ideas.
Can you repeat your question?
I said, basically, so we've identified that the reason why we don't want the referee back to the play, it's most especially in the final third. What solution, if you see a referee doing that, what solution can you give to recommend as an assessor or as a coach how to get it better and how you want them to correct it?
I mean, if the referee wants to lead play through the middle part of the field, he needs to either take a slightly wider position or he needs to tuck himself in behind defender and face himself towards the active play. I mean, he seems here, I mean, it's a static clip, but it looks like here he's doing a combination of leading play, but also looking generally towards the goal as opposed to keeping the play in his field of view. So I think leading play through the middle, unless the instruction coming down is changing, is okay, but you have to actually be paying attention to the play while you're doing that. Okay,
good point. So remember again, when you're in the final third, it is when you really don't want to be doing this, turning your body completely like this, okay? You want to, as you just very well put, the referee need to be a little to the side. The one area that we don't want referees to be, we do not, and I said this very clearly, we do not want is anywhere in the central area of this field. We strongly suggest for them to avoid those areas. Why do we say that? Because that is the most traffic area on the soccer field of midfielders or play going through. So what we prefer is the referee somewhere, whatever it may be, taking this position a little bit more to the outside, not wide, why the play can go this way. And from here, a referee can view and can still view with his back sideways instead of completely back to play, it's now a little bit sideways. And once the play goes by, once the ball goes by, this ball, once it goes by this area, now the referee can adjust his position to come in, and then view the play in front of him or her. Does that make sense to anybody, or do you want to have a question on that?
Abby, this is Jim Albertson. Just an added comment.
Yes.
Since we don't use the term wide anymore, we now use get into lanes, get out of lanes of traffic, move on to the shoulder. I'll call it that instead of moving left or right. But also, he's heading back downfield, so he should be backpedaling out of there where he can move to either side and still have complete view of what's going on. He can still sight his ARs and he can still see. You know, if nothing else, let's say I'm assuming the player in blue is the attacker, just for the sake of discussion. Keeper clears and he makes an oops, and blue is on the ball and moving in for a 4, and he's not going to catch that quick enough, so we don't know what happens. So my suggestion is, first of all, as you're coming out, backpedal out and allow yourself to move to where you feel you have an appropriate view of everything going on.
Mm-hmm. So good point. The only one point I want to kind of give it a clarification is you do not, okay, saying come wide so you can let the play go is a dangerous thing to do, okay?
Right.
It's very dangerous. We don't want to referee because if you come too wide, okay, all you're doing is just giving the channel for the play to go through the middle. Once that play goes by you, then you adjust as we ask them to adjust. We ask them to adjust. By adjusting, they can see the next phase or the decision making they're about to make. I'm deliberately not playing these clips because I don't want you, the clip is not, it's more about the educational point of it. Because if I play the clip, there will be less discussion, okay? So I don't want to play the clips. The clips we're going to view is going to be later, the one Amanda is going to show, okay? Question.
So hold on, Abby. We got a few questions that are coming into me privately in the chat, but everyone feel free to type your questions publicly. It's a safe space. Everyone's learning here. So first question, should shoulders be square to the goal line regardless of where the referee is, left, right, or center?
Not really, no. If you to the side, okay, if you're on this, let's assume this is the penalty. Let's use this area. Let me do another drawing, okay? I'm just going to do a quick. Everybody can see that, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Let's assume this is the penalty area. Okay. The shoulder is square once the play goes in front of you. Right here, you open, if you're on the side, you open your body up a little bit, just slightly vertical to let the play go. When the play goes and it's in the penalty area in front of you, then you can square your shoulder. Because what you have to remember, let's assume the ball is over here. In most cases, you want the referee to be about this area. If this play gets switched over this way, the referee squaring the shoulder is irrelevant now. The referee have to do what? Show a quick dynamic, a quick sprint to get somewhere around this area. When it gets here, then it can square the shoulder again. By squaring the shoulder, he has this view, he has this view, and he has this view. Does that answer the question?
Does that answer the question, John? All right, I'm not hearing from him. So another question that was asked to me privately. So referees tend to have headsets, but in many games, referees do not have headsets. So it's important to have ARs in a fourth in view. How does that affect positioning?
And that is the next clip we're actually about to view. Okay, funny enough.
Perfect.
Have you got your AR in view? Okay. So it doesn't affect because I'm going to do the drawing again. Always, the bottom line is this. Every time you think about positioning, it doesn't matter where you're on the field. If the ball is, if the play is here and your AR is here, it's the basic principle of refereeing. The play must always be between the referee and the AR. It does not matter what you do. If at any time between the AR and the referee are looking at the same angle, ask yourself one simple question. How do we tell them who is looking behind the referee then? So you both don't want, so you want to have this AR in your view. In this case, in all honesty, this referee might be a little bit too deep. It should actually be about this area. Why do I say it's too deep? Can anybody make that comment? Why? Any comment? Mr. Buddha. I'm sorry, I just saw your name on the screen. That's why I'm calling.
Not a problem. I don't like that position because basically the AR and the referee are looking at the play from the same angle. They're 180 degrees across from one another, and they're looking through the play at the same angle. So that doesn't appeal to me. If he's farther back, he has a different angle, a more obtuse angle into the play, and the AR and he have two different views at the same play.
That is exactly. So the question, Amanda, again, why? Can you repeat the question again, Amanda, please?
Sorry, Amanda, can I repeat the question?
Yeah, the last question.
So the last question was, referees tend to have headsets, but in many games, referees do not have headsets. So it's important to have the ARs in a fourth in view. How does that affect positioning?
It does not affect, because if you practice the best practice or basic principle of position, which I just showed just now, always remember, it doesn't matter. Even if you're over here too far, always make sure you have the referee, the assistant referee in your view. If you move up, you still have the same view. And let's assume this is the fourth official area here. Even though I believe in this game, if I'm looking at, it probably is on this side. But let's just assume there's a fourth official. Look at, if you're over here and if you're over here, you have the fourth official being in your view is the least of your concern, because the primary duty of the fourth official, besides doing with the technical area, is to look behind the referee's back wherever the referee cannot see. So the least of your concern is the fourth official in your view. The only time you want to have a fourth official possibly in your view, I'm going to do another drawing. So let's assume this whole area here, this is the technical area, and the play is in the side of the field. Then as the referee, you want to be here so you can be looking at the play that way. Then you want to have the fourth official in your view.
But so Abby, just to highlight, part of the question and part of your point is that referees, it shouldn't matter if you're wearing a headset or not in terms of the best practices of positioning. There's nothing that says if you have a headset, that means you can cheat. And I know Abby is a lot more old school than I am in terms of the communication and stuff, but I can tell you very much that a lot of the old school referees are just like the communication systems being used as a crutch. So it doesn't excuse best positioning practices. It doesn't excuse teamwork, eye contact, all those other things that are so important. So we should still be emphasizing these regardless of whether referees are wearing headsets or not.
Exactly, Amanda. Headset is used as a reason to say, oh, I didn't hear this or I didn't hear that. That is not the purpose. Positioning doesn't change. The headset just might reinforce something that happened that one of your teammates, one of the crew want to emphasize to the referee. So if we are coaching and a referee tell us, oh, I know if I go this way that somebody will tell me something that's happening here. No, we still have to teach them the basic principle of what we want them to be in position-wise. Because I'm going to say the basic principle of any decision making is to have the lead AR and yourself play between the two, make sure that you have the view of those AR in your view. Without that, you are compromising significant amount of view for the referee and the assistant referee. Okay. Another question before I go to this next slide, Amanda, or no?
Nope, that's it. Though there was a point that the AR in this shot was way out of position, but that's a different.
Okay.
That's June's webinar. We'll talk about that.
I can tell you this much. Amanda will tell you, I always joke with her when she was working the pro. I'm assessing. I says, Amanda, I says, when I'm watching the video, you guys are so good at the AR stuff. I says, one thing I know I'm good at, I'm decently good at is refereeing. I said, as far as AR, please, I'll yield on that. So don't ask me to talk about AR. I can point out what they probably didn't do right, but to coach them how to do it right, I'm sorry, I'm the wrong person. Okay, so I don't want to step to something I know I'm not good at. Okay, so now you saw a little diagram here. It's called the final attacking thought. And there is a reason that it's called final attacking thought. What you are seeing, the yellow area you see here, the red zone is an area that we say we do not want referees to be in. We're going to see a clip later. A referee that should go in this area, and we're going to find a reason why we say you shouldn't be there. Okay. The referee, just what you saw earlier about the guy with the back to the play, you've seen this is about 25 years from play, if the play is this way. And when you over here, if you have a transition of a play going out, you have the ability, because most play when they go out, the goalkeeper releases the ball this way, or that way for a quick counter attack. So if you already too deep, you are in trouble. So we want you again, you look at that yellow line, make it as a principle. The only time the referee goes in this area, the only time we encourage, so when the referee does it consistently, let's correct them. We don't want them to go in the penalty area unless they have a decision to make.
Abby, so real quick, why did that change? Because that wasn't always the instruction, right? That had changed. Why did that change?
That's about them not going to the penalty area unless they have a decision to make. Because if they go in the penalty area without a decision to make, they get caught deep and they could be in the way of the play. Because when you have a decision to make, once you make that decision, the play is dead, one way or the other. It does not mean you don't seek angle, because we're going to see. It does not mean as a referee, you don't come around to seek angle. You do. If the play is coming over here by the goal line, yeah, you might need to take angle. But if the play is being dynamic, I like to do drawing a lot. If the play, let me find a different color though. Okay. If the play is being dynamic in this area, as a referee, you have no reason to be anywhere here. And that's what we don't want to, that's what we keep telling. We shouldn't teach, we should discourage them when they do that. But what they do is, if once this play gets dead, let's say the referee know there's a challenge about to happen that's going to kill the play, then you can make that move to seek the angle, to see this challenge, to see, and then you can move it to make your final decision. You're still going to enter the penalty area, but not just for to say, I want to show, I want to say Mr. Kelly that I've entered the penalty area. No, that's not the purpose. Enter the penalty area for the purpose of making the decision. Okay? Question? So Amanda, it's not that it changes. What happened is basically, it didn't change. It's still the same principle, but say, seek the angle to enter the area, and when you have to make a final decision, then you actually, that is even more important for you to make it, not just enter there. Okay? Question?
No, the other part of this to remember is we did also have the rule change where if you get hit now,
you drop the ball.
You drop the ball to the goalkeeper. So that's one of those things in terms of there's very much a consequence if you get hit in the penalty area, that it's a huge risk now compared to before.
Yep. Good point. Questions again. So
there was a question to please repeat your point about the yellow area, Abby.
The one I just did? Don't worry.
Yep.
We're going to see it right now. Okay. We're going to see.
All right, we're going to see a clip of it. So Mike, hold your question and see if you still have it after this clip.
We're going to see a little play of it. Okay. I'm going to, let me see. How do you blow this up? Okay, I know. I'm going to start again. Do anybody see where the referee is? Can we all see where the referee is? Remember where the place? The place in the final third. Did you see him anywhere at any point trying to get close to the penalty area? That's what we're teaching. This is the principle of the basic thing that we are teaching now. Look at him again. Is still where? Can you see him? You cannot see him, because guess what? He's still somewhere in this vicinity, but on the other side. Okay. And this is the basic teaching of what we are teaching. So like before, most referees, I know during my days, I'll be rushing over here because I want to get here so I can show Mr. Shisley that I can get into the penalty area. And that's what I want to show him. I want to show off like, I'm fit, I'm good. It doesn't do you any good. We're going to see a clip of exactly that, a referee that actually did that. He get caught over here, and then the play goes long. It's about 80 yards away from play. What this gives you, if you're in this area, is the added advantage. If the ball gets switched over, you literally can transition quickly to move to the next area where you expect the decision to be made. Question? Okay, I need to go back smaller. Thank you. I'm not going to show this because if I show you, I'm going to take too much time. It's just too much. So this diagram, Amanda should know this very well. These areas on the field, there's some area on the field we actually, based on what we've just been talking about, again, we encourage referees to stay away from. when we see them do it, we have to try to correct them so they don't fall into the bad habit. Amanda, pick a name. I want to ask somebody why. I don't want to look at the zone from 1 to 18, and I want you to look at the attack. Let me find a different color. Assume the attack is going that way. So pick a name.
Matt Hartness, take yourself off mute, please.
Matt, what I'm going to ask you, if the play is coming this way, based on what we've talked about so far, in what of this zone from 10 through 18 do you not want your referee to be at? Based on what we've talked about body orientation, about how you should be squaring your shoulder to the goal. What number? Just pick a number.
From 17.
That's actually very good. That's a decent one. If we say referee there, that's a problem, serious problem. There's another 13. Actually high significant number. What other 13. Number is that?
13.
Well,
13.
Okay, so let's ask about 13. Why do you not want a referee to be here? Remember the first clip I showed? I said the area we want our referee to stay out of is which area? As much as possible.
Right.
Once the play goes ahead of them, it's different. These two areas are the area we don't want. More specifically, number 14. Pick another name. I want to ask a different question. Amanda, please.
JT.
JT. So if I'm saying we don't want our referee to be, I call it zone 14. Can you give a reason why not? Why we don't want to say we don't want them to be there? JT. And remember, the attack is going this way. Pick a different name, Amanda.
Mike Lightfuss.
Oh, he's from Chicago. He's a Chicago guy.
All right. Chicago
Mike.
Guy. Take yourself off mute, Mike. I see you on the video, but I can't hear you.
Mr. Oliver, Mike Oliver, he's another Chicago guy.
All right, we're tag team in Chicago right now. Mike, go ahead.
So, Mike, if we are telling we don't want referees to be in this zone 14, what could be the reason on a play coming from this end to this end? What could be a reason? Take off yourself mute. You're on mute.
A reason might be that you might be in a passing lane or get caught up in the actual attack.
That's a good point. Okay. Mr. Wright, Cecil Wright, what could be a reason?
Oh, wait, hold on. I think the other Mike got himself off mute.
Okay.
I say he's be in the passing lane.
Okay.
I agree with him. You're in the passing lane, and a lot of officials get in the way.
That's a good point. Passing is a very common language that we seem to use a lot as a coach or assessor. This is not about passing lane, which it is in a way, but let's ask ourselves, post attack that comes into the final attacking thought, what area of the field does the play goes through?
Cecile Wright, how about you answer that one?
What area of the field does the play goes through? I'm doing a little diagram just to kind of give you an idea. What area of the field?
30-yard line. That would be right around the 30.
Around the zone 14. Play comes in. Play comes this way a lot. So if you take this spot as a referee, you're literally limiting the attacking option.
The attacking option, right.
It is not about being a passing lane. You are limiting the option of the attack. So this is where we say again, we want you, if the play is coming, by the time you get here, slow down. If the play goes in front of you, then you can adjust. But so we tell the referee, we want them to adjust this way or this way, depending on which area of the field the ball is played into. Any question? Does that make sense to anybody? Please ask question if it doesn't make sense to you.
And one of the things I really want to highlight that Abby is doing throughout this presentation, which is one of the reasons I like when Abby talks, is it's really, really important when we're coaching referees that they understand the why. One of the things I say all the time is I hate when assessors say, oh, you need to anticipate play better. Well, because, okay, well, let's be honest. Referees aren't going out there trying to anticipate play poorly. If they're not anticipating play well, it's because they don't know how. So how are we going to coach them into doing that? So this why, like what are player tendencies? What are these playing tendencies? That's what's really important for us to understand and for us to get the referees to think about. Because without that part, like just telling them this is what you should be doing instead, if they don't understand why, they're less likely to adjust.
So let's remember, zone 14 will get you into trouble because then you're going to go towards zone 17. Zone 17 is absolutely, no referee should be there. We're going to see a clip where the referee be there in a few minutes. Okay?
So few questions in the chat. So zone 4, just a comment first. Zone 14 is also the area through which players run in anticipation of a cross, which is very true. That's what Abby was saying of getting in the way, and you're limiting their options by being there. The other question is, should they still be coached to make angle, to get the angle and then make up distance?
The angle you want to make that's a good question. And what we always say is, remember, there's no two plays alike. Okay, the angle you make, remember, I put a drawing over here. Okay, so what we are saying is, seek to be in this area, seek to be in this area, and adjust accordingly. But don't seek to be in this area. And that's what we want them to teach them and explain to them why. Because let's even go further. If the ball goes to the goalkeeper, if this keeper catches the ball, guess what is coming through? It's coming through the middle. If you are here, you take away that option for the goalkeeper. So
if the ball is on the say in zone 15, then your AR has a better view than you do because you're over near the 13. Wouldn't you depend on the AR if anything is going to happen to make that call?
If the ball is on this area of the field,
right?
We don't want referee to be here. The referee should be somewhere around here. Okay.
Okay.
Referee, because if the play goes in this area, this referee can adjust to see this decision. If the ball goes in, it's over here. You can see this, you can see there, and you can see there.
Okay.
Now, if they play the ball over, like I said earlier, and the referee have to make a quick run to be back on this area. Now you can see this, see this, see this, and see what is lead air. Okay, question?
Got it.
Good.
Got it, yeah.
I want to be able to show 2, maybe 3 clips at the least, because that one is, to me, is actually important that we're able to do that. Body, angle, position, So if we're looking at this referee, somebody would say he actually get a good angle. Does he really have a good angle? Ask this referee, does he have a good angle? Body position. A referee, no matter what you do, must always, at any given time, have the ability to see between players. We try. So if a referee, anytime we see a referee that make a wrong decision, don't hammer on the wrong decision. The first thing you want to prioritize your eyes on is to see where was he or she and what was it looking or she looking at. We all know maybe they made the wrong decision. Now you have to give them a reason why they made that wrong decision. So if this referee didn't see a bad challenge, what are we going to tell him or her? In his case, what are we going to tell him? Why did you not see a challenge that maybe is reckless? So I'll ask Mike, you back? Mike, like first, I believe you're back online now. Are you
here? Hopefully.
So let's assume, yeah, we can hear you. So if this referee make a bad decision, he didn't see a challenge that's possibly reckless. If you're looking at this video, this still picture, what will you tell him or tell him?
Well, he's got to move because he really can't see between 2 bodies. So he's got no good idea if the player in purple actually got the ball or if she came over the top and got the leg of the player in white.
Again, thank you. Those are the things we want to encourage. Every single time when you see a referee in a position that they make something wrong, forget about the decision. Please focus immediately. Do they have the ability to see between the two players? It doesn't matter, low, challenge, high, elbow, whatever. Can they see between the two players? Let's take a look at some clips. Just a quick video. Remember what we talked about? What's this referee doing right now? Seeking angle. And look when he's going to enter the penalty area. He has a final decision to make. If he doesn't have this decision to make, he doesn't bother coming in here. There's no need to show off, which is what we call it right now. You're showing off. Okay? Final attacking thought. How do we move? Look, all the things we've talked about. Just look at the video and ask yourself, final attacking thought. Hold on. Okay. Remember what we talked about? Somebody just asked a question a few seconds ago. Look where this referee is at. Look at his movement in this area. It's not where. Now, watch if it transition over. Why? Why does he transition over? Those are the things that we have to teach and encourage our referees. Don't just give them the simple, you get this wrong, why are you here? Give them the solution where they should be. The game is evolving, it's so fast, it's unbelievable. It is so fast, scary fast. Okay? Amanda, I don't want to go through all this. I want to actually show some clip. Actually, let me show this. Why we say we don't go through zone 14. The last one, then we'll go to 2 or 3 clips from Amanda. So we can have a little discussion on that. Okay, Amanda? Amanda?
Sounds good. I actually just put the link in the chat for people.
Awesome. So I want to show this. The reason I said don't go into the penalty area. This is actually a good clip for that. Can we all see that? I want to play it again. Right now, if you're the referee, the referee should be stopping about this point already. This, not necessary. And look what happened. Remember what zone? Zone what? Zone 14, zone 17. That's what could have happened. Why we don't want referees to go through zone 14. Dynamic play or not. Don't go central. It's okay. The referee can choose to go to do this. He can choose when he was running to go like that. Like the previous clip. Go wide, stay out of this area. Or if he wants to come, if he thinks it's that fit, can come this way. But never. Worst case scenario, he can go a little bit to the angle, but never through the middle. Question. Amanda, I want to stop this over here because again, there's too many clips that I can discuss. And I said, I'm rushing this so fast. I feel so bad. I'm cheating too many people the way I'm rushing it, and I don't think it's fair to them. This actually
That's all right. No, you're covering a lot of information. It's great stuff, Abby.
Yeah.
I posted in the chat the link to some of these clips. I'm going to pick one, Abby. How about we start off by talking about the position B, the clip labeled positioning B, POSB.
Okay, let me.
I think that's a good one to go through right now as a group.
Position B, this one right here. Okay.
Yep. Need access.
Okay, you're gonna play it on your side, right? Let me stop sharing because I have to stop sharing. Stop sharing. Then you have the controller.
All right, I got it now.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
All right, can everyone see my screen? It sounds like it because Abby's talking.
Yeah, I can see. Amanda, you want to go back to the beginning again?
Let's go back to the beginning, everyone.
And let me see if I can pick a name. You are busy. Linda Veli, if I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. So Linda, if you look at this, based on what we just talked about, what will you be coaching the referee on this position?
Well,
Linda,
I'm worrying about the angle there.
let it play, Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
So what will you coach, Linda?
So are you asking me what is my question, or are you?
No. What will you coach? If you see this position by the referee, Amanda play it and stop it at the moment of the penalty area on the first phase.
Well, first he's in the
Got
air.
it.
I can't tell if it's a
Stop
he or
it,
a she.
stop. Oh, you forget about the referee. So based on what we just talked about, Linda, is this an appropriate position for the referee to stop now, or he or she should still keep going?
He should not keep going into the penalty area. I'd be saying move over towards the left so that you've got a better view of what's going to happen next.
Okay. So maybe
not that far, but a few feet to the left.
Okay, like right here?
Better. I'm just concerned about what's going to happen when that ball's coming out of the penalty area.
And see what happened now. See what happened. Let it play, Amanda.
Lucky, but it should not have been in the penalty area there.
No, actually, guess what? Stop, Amanda, stop it. Guess what? He didn't get lucky. So you saw what happened to him? Where's the ball played to now, Linda? 60 years off the, where's the ball? Where did they just play the ball into? 60 years off the field?
At least.
And it's out of position. So
the referee's not even in my picture at this point.
Exactly. So now we have to use so you have to link him, the referee, going into the penalty area as to why Amanda played forward.
Yeah, he's miles behind at this point.
And so stop it, Amanda. He's gonna come in the picture in a few seconds. When they come in the picture, stop it when they come in the picture. Right there, stop. So as an assessor, we have to teach why it was 60, 50, 60, 70 yards away from play. So it's not just, we shouldn't be focusing on where he is right now. We should be focusing at the beginning when he entered the penalty area when he shouldn't be. Because it took 2 seconds to him to do that, and it completely took himself out of play completely. Okay? Does that make sense to anybody or not?
Makes sense to me.
Mike Oliver had a question. Mike, I'm sorry, I saw you chatted. Mike, could you ask that question again, please?
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying in terms of our coaching as assessors, but our referees getting the same instruction about positioning, because as an assessor, if I'm saying to a referee, you shouldn't go into the penalty area, you shouldn't be here in zone 14, and a referee looks at me going, well, I've been told to do this instead. So in order for us to be on the same page, I'm hoping that referees get the same instruction about where they should be on the field, so that as an assessor, if I make a recommendation or a comment about their position, it is consistent.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yes.
That's an excellent point what you just made. And it's an ongoing teaching process. So remember, what we are trying to teach, you don't have to use the word zone 14, okay? Because if the referees are not getting that idea yet, which I can tell you most of those people probably getting it, but we only have about 95 or so national referees in the other part, in the US soccer part. So what you don't use the word zone 14. That zone 14 is for you, for us as an assessor to identify the areas of the field. Use the word outside the penalty area. Use the word top of the arc. Use the word side of the arc. That is a common word. Teaching about how you want them to move should never change. Okay? But don't use the word zone 14 because you're correct by you saying how many people actually know what zone 14 is. Okay?
Sure.
And just to go off of that, like there are always questions about, I know there's a ton of training that's being done for the referees as well, that Corey Rockwell is leading and everything. And I am 100% certain that the intent is to get this information out, but let's all be honest, it may not. Not everyone attends those Zoom calls. Not everybody attends these trainings. So that just means it's our role as the assessors to be the one educating them on these principles. So I'm with you. Sometimes they don't know it yet. What I can say is from NYSOA's education standpoint, they're trying, but everyone isn't going to be on the calls all the time, you know? So that's then our job to help instruct them and teach them these different principles. And for all of you in your local chapter meetings to be talking about these principles as well.
And Amanda, you know, I just want to comment that one thing I tend to emphasize, particularly in the Greater Chicago chapter, when I work with referees, is everyone is an ambassador, because as you said, if they don't attend a clinic or they don't get that information, then the referees themselves can be ambassadors to say, here's the common approach. This is what we should be talking about. And then the information gets out.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Completely true. All right. So I'm going to go back to my share, and Abby, I'm going to go. This is positioning clip A.
Okay.
So I also think this is relevant.
Hold on, Amanda. Let's pick one name first before you do that.
Go ahead.
Mr. Guido Gonzalez, sir. Mr. Guido, can you please look at the video? And based on what we talked about, look at the referee. And I can tell you right now, this whole video starts literally within the first few seconds of this clip. Okay? So is Mr. Guido here or not? Can you hear us? Let me pick. Mr. Mike Fricano. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. I apologize. Mr. Mike?
How about Mr. Art Jaspy?
Oh, he said it's not working. Mr. Mike answered. He said it's not. His mic is not working. Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Billy,
yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead, please.
All right, here we go.
All right, what do you got? Well, first thing's easy.
Mm-hmm. It's at the beginning. My mother, stop it. All this doesn't necessary. We don't need this. Go ahead.
No, right from there, he's badly positioned. He's facing the ball, and he's got 17 players behind him. I mean, everybody's behind him in the penalty area, so he doesn't know what's going on behind him for sure.
So based on what we just talked about, what will you be the solution be?
My recommendation is he moves to the left. He moves to the left and he squares up to the mid. As he moves to the left, he rotates his body as the ball goes through, and he's square to the goal line. And he looks to see what's going on.
Excellent point. Okay. These are the things we have to identify and teach.
Yes.
And the more we keep emphasizing it, eventually they will get it. Okay. I like the word that you're using, square the shoulder, move to the side, vertically. That is the point. Those are the things we have to get used to. Because the one thing, so let me ask Mr. Billy Walter, what is the clue right now to the referee that he should not be looking at the player with the ball? What's the clue? Mr. Walter, Billy.
I'm figuring it out. What's a clue?
Yeah.
Say that again. I missed the first part of what you said.
What is the clue? Okay, look at the referee. We can see the referee is looking at the player with the ball.
Right.
Should they be looking at the player with the ball right now?
No, I'd be looking at all the people around me if I was referee, because
So
the
what-
ball is not going anywhere. I know where the ball was going to go.
And the main clue to yours is what? Is there anybody challenging the player with the ball?
Correct. They're right. There's the ball is going to go where it's going to go. There's no one over there to mess with anybody. So I'd be finding all the people around me, figuring out where they're going. So make my run.
So those are the points we have to link to why you shouldn't be watching this and why you should have your body in its position. To remember what we said earlier, have the lead area in your view and have all these players. That is, well, I'm moving my cursor like I have the control of the board, Amanda. Have all those players in your view at the same time. As a referee, always teach them that they want to have the maximum number of players in their view, minimum out of their sight. Maximum in their view at all time, minimum out of their sight. Okay, yes, if Amanda plays it, we're going to see the referee show off his running, but that's why it's called running chicken right ahead, because it was just running. You see, now look at it. Now, okay, I need to run now. Go. And that's why I call running without chicken without a head, because it's just running. Okay, his feet, he can run. I can tell you that he can run. Okay, one more clip, Amanda, because I think what time?
Wait, do you want to comment on what he's doing now?
Huh? Oh, go ahead. I can see. I just don't. I don't
I
like
was
to.
about to say, no, let's let it keep going.
Okay, go ahead.
What do we think of how he approaches the penalty area at the end?
Come on. Somebody pick that. Mr. Hill. Mr. Craig Hill.
Yes, sir. I'm back on. Okay.
All right.
You know, I would still move a little bit to the left to take a look at that particular play, because I think he is addressing it a little more straight on, and I don't know that that's helpful.
Has he got a good view right now?
Sort of.
Okay.
No, he doesn't have a good view.
He doesn't have a view.
Yeah.
Now he's got a view.
Yeah.
He got lucky. He got lucky because the player ran away from him.
He did.
Okay. Where these are the things. It's not always because they made the right decision or bad decision. It is because when we identify, we kind of pointed out to them, you know what, listen, this didn't occur today, but you were here. Can you think about this? And those are the things we have to identify for them. There is actually a question by Mr. Wayne Jackson from this previous clip. Say, would it be appropriate for the referee to be in a sidestep position? Remember when on that same clip, when the referee started at the beginning? Amanda, can you go back to the beginning, please, of that last clip?
Sorry.
That will be the last one. We finish. What time are we supposed to finish? 8:30, right? Or 9:30?
8:30. So we're about to be done. Sorry, I'm resuming my share. There we go. Okay.
Okay. So the question was, would it be appropriate for the referee to be in a sidestep position? Yes, it will be. But the sidestep will not be sidestep with your back to the ball. It will be sidestep moving sideways towards, the penalty area or towards outside, but never to the back of the, not turning your back to the play. So yes, sidestepping is okay. No two plays, no two situations are alike. Just give solutions. Okay? Thank you, Amanda. I think that should be okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Abby. So one thing I want to say also that Abby did not, he sort of said it, but this was one of, as many of you know, I was an assistant referee, not a referee. So I joke with people that Abby taught me everything I know about referee positioning, and I've taught him everything he knows about AR positioning, right?
You're correct.
So that's how it goes. But one thing he said to me that I really want to emphasize again, he implied this on the last couple of clips. When you observe a referee positioning issue, it started 10 seconds sooner. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're talking about this. When the positioning issue occurs, when they get trapped in play or something, it didn't happen there. The problem started 10 seconds earlier. So for us as coaches, we need to ourselves be thinking 10 seconds earlier, breaking it down for the referee of how it fell apart over those 10 seconds, like where it started in terms of this. So just something to think about as well. So thank you very much, Abby, for being on this call. We are going, for those of you that were not on the last call, we have posted on the NYSOA YouTube channel over this past weekend. We were a little delayed. There was a lot going on with the final, with the NCAA championships and everything else. End of semesters, wrapping up stuff in terms of getting that out there, but it's posted now. If anyone wants to watch the last one, this one will be posted in the near future. And then remember, next one is going to be June 7th. This was referee positioning. Next one, June 7th, AR positioning with Joe Fletcher. So
I'm going to be on that one.
And like Linda said, thank you very much for focusing and sharing the why. Just always remember that. Remember the why. So thank you, Abby.
Thank you, everybody, for having me.
And I will see you all next month.